Spore is a very important game to me. I know that there was some disappointment when the game was released. People say that it under-delivered on the hype, but I was too young at the time to know about all that, so to me the original game was incredible and really helped me realize how cool science can be. But for me personally, the main appeal of Spore was galactic adventures. The adventure creator is the coolest sandbox I've ever seen in a video game. You get an entire fully customizable planet to work with. You can fine-tune mountains, valleys, and oceans of water or of lava. You can use the other editors from the base game to create cities and creatures all across your world and add specific story objectives that can trigger all sorts of crazy scenarios. Items like jump pads, teleporters, force fields, grenades, and many more opened up all sorts of gameplay mechanics that you could really get creative with. Now, while flying through the galaxy in the space stage, your captain could beam down to custom-made worlds designed by you or other players to carry out special away missions to protect the galaxy and help those in need. And mostly just fuck around. Yeah, it turns out when you give people unlimited power to create anything they can imagine, a shocking number of them will just populate a world with sentient cocks and call it a day. Still, amidst all of the low-effort shitposting, there were some truly incredible adventures made by creators who clearly cared much about their work. I made a bunch, and my friend even made a video going over some of them. You can find that video in the description. But in between Spore's genuine works of art and its atrocities lies Spore's most beloved franchise of adventures. This ongoing story was originally started by the creators of Spore, Maxis, but players created hundreds, if not thousands, of their own episodes. Yes, we're going to talk about Clark and Stanley, and how they became Spore's most iconic meme. Clark and Stanley are a classic slapstick comedy duo. The typical formula for a Clark and Stanley adventure starts with your captain running into them on some random planet. At some point, usually after having a chat with them, they would both be killed in some gruesome way that related to whatever they're doing in the episode. Your captain would do a little dance and beam away. Maxis started the series with 3 episodes we'll call the original trilogy. In Clark and Stanley Go Camping, they got run over by a truck. In Clark and Stanley Go Stargazing, they're hit by a meteorite. And in Clark and Stanley Go Swimming, the pair get eaten by sharks. Much like Kenny from South Park, Clark and Stanley would continuously be resurrected for no apparent reason. The Spore community really latched onto this concept and used the characters in countless custom adventures, killing them off in increasingly creative ways, or by randomly having them explode. I made several Clark and Stanley missions myself, though I sadly can't access them as I never made them public. Me and my brother were actually so obsessed with Clark and Stanley that one year for Christmas, our mom and sister painted these hilarious Clark and Stanley artworks for us. Clark and Stanley must be 2 of the most powerful entities in existence. Their regenerative abilities are unparalleled. They emerge completely unharmed after being mauled by a crowd, shot, reduced to atoms, and ripped apart by a planet-destroying, dimensional-ripping mega laser. I tried to find any canon reason for their regenerations, and just when I was about to give up, I realized that there actually is at least one other character in the Spore, or Spore lore, who possesses this power. Your captain. When the ship is destroyed in the space stage, a new ship is constructed and launched from one of your colonies. The cutscene text reveals that, while the captain and all of their crew were killed, the wonders of cloning technology have allowed them to be resurrected. Indeed, it seems like it's possible for people in the Spore galaxy to keep backup clones of themselves to replace them in the event of untimely death. Still, we have to wonder why Clark and Stanley in particular are so prone to dying so often. The characters are portrayed as incredibly stupid, canonically possessing a combined IQ equal to a sand crab. But maybe, just maybe, there's something more sinister going on here. Wait. Those hands. That mouth. And the ears. According to the Spore wiki, many players have noticed the similarities between the dreaded Grox and Clark and Stanley species. Dweebles. Wait, they're called the Dweebles? And some speculate that the 2 species are even related. Perhaps the Grox split off from the Dweeble Society when they began augmenting their bodies with cybernetic parts. Their biological counterparts remained dumb and clumsy, while the ones who connected with machines were able to populate the center of the galaxy, becoming the Milky Way's most powerful empire. Think about it. Clark and Stanley bring destruction everywhere they go. Yes, they kill themselves, but they also kill many people around them, often including your captain. Some of these people may be replaced by backup clones, but many others will just be killed. I think the Grox have been behind the scenes for a long time now, using Clark and Stanley to covertly interfere with local elections, assassinate important figures, and disrupt their enemies. This is why they're so drawn to your captain. Your character can have more influence on the galaxy than any other individual, and can even completely annihilate the Grox if they have enough free time. So the Grox send Clark and Stanley to keep tabs on you, and to cause delays and confusion anywhere they can. The wonderful thing about the lore of Clark and Stanley is that, aside from 3 extremely short missions, it all comes from the Spore community, for better and for worse. Thousands of people came together to tell a story that never ends, encounter after encounter with these same characters in both creative and underwhelming situations, each ending the same, with Clark, Stanley, and probably a few spectators dead. To end this video, I'm going to make my own new custom Clark and Stanley adventure for old time's sake. I haven't used the adventure creator in several years, so I'm very rusty, but I'll try my best to do my favorite comedy duo justice. Clark and Stanley snuck aboard your ship once again, but this time you start to question who they really are. Stanley turns to you to chat while you walk down the corridor together. Hey Captain, not that I don't enjoy a fun stroll through the ship and all, but would you mind telling me where you're taking me now? Don't worry, I'll explain soon. Well, okay buddy, can't wait to see what you got planned. Clark would be so excited. Where is Clark anyways? You take Stanley to his friend Clark, who's trapped inside a pod in your ship. What is this? Where am I? Captain! Stanley, you've got to get me out of here! Not until I test my theory. Theory? Captain, what do you mean? When this machine kills you, my computer will scan for outgoing signals to any cloning facilities in the galaxy. I'll finally learn where your clones are coming from. Captain, please, you have nothing to fear. I've always been your friend, please. Stanley starts to freak out. No, Captain, I swear, we're your friends. Don't kill Clark, please. Just take me instead. I'm taking you to use as a hostage in case I need to pay your friends at the cloning facility a visit. Cloning facility? Captain, are you hearing yourself? We're just innocent dweebles. Let's test that then. You approach the controls for the death ray. Computer, activate the anti-Clark ray. Maximum setting. Warning, anti-Clark ray is fully charged. Any Clarks within the pod will be eliminated. The machine starts up and zaps Clark to death. Let's see where this cloning signal got sent. Stanley sobs behind you as you look towards the console. Computer, determine the targets of any outgoing cloning signals. Computer detects one outgoing cloning signal coming from the ship. Analyzing target. Target is a Grox system near the center of the galaxy. Oh my spode. It can't be. You turn around and see Stanley smiling behind you. It's over, Stanley. I know your secret. Now come with me to Grox space so I can destroy the cloning facility once and for all. You must think you're so smart. We had fun undermining you over the years, but we can't have you continue knowing our little secret. There's nothing that you can do. Surrender. Activating emergency random explosion. No, computer, lock the teleporter onto the nearest habitable planet. You make a run for it to your ship's teleporter room. You arrive on a strange planet. It seems to be populated, but no signs of life yet. This world seems to be covered in oceans of lava. Oh no, it looks like they found us. A Grox! Stanley must have called for reinforcements. At least that means my ship and crew are probably alright. Mwahahaha! You may have seen through our ruse, but you stand no chance against the Clark and Stanley army! Are you crazy? These guys are idiots. They'll probably just end up killing themselves in the battle. You dare question the powers of the Grox. Clark, Stanleys, attack! Wait, no, guys, the bridge is the other way. You morons, no! No, you fools! There they go. You turn to the Grox to gloat. See? They're totally useless. Bah! You may have outsmarted the mighty Grox this time, but we have infinite Clarks and infinite Stanleys. You will never defeat them all! I'm not worried. I don't have to defeat them. Just remember to keep my distance. You return to your ship to find that Stanley didn't blow himself up. However, shortly after you left, he did launch himself out of an airlock, thinking it was a refrigerator door. The end. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe and leave a comment to support my channel. I just released an album called Ones and Zeros, and I'm working on more video essays and other content. I want this channel to be a place where I can just post whatever interests me at the time. Let me know if there's any more stuff from Spore you want me to do a deep dive on, because I deeply love this game and I'd be happy to talk about it more. But until next time, goodbye.